Standard costing excellence, measuring performance through cost standards. Introduction to standard costing. Standard costing definition. A system of estimating production costs by assigning predetermined costs to products or services. Creates cost benchmarks for performance measurement and control. Core purposes. Set clear cost benchmarks for all production activities. Measure actual performance against established standards. Control costs and identify areas for improvement. Support decision-making with reliable cost information. Standard costing transforms cost management from reactive to proactive. Key standard costing concepts. Standard cost. The expected cost of producing one unit under normal operating conditions. Based on efficient operations and reasonable material usage. Actual cost. The real cost incurred to produce products or services. Includes all actual expenses during the production period. Variance. The difference between standard costs and actual costs. Shows whether operations performed better or worse than expected. Variance classifications. Favorable variance, actual costs less than standard costs. Adverse variance, actual costs exceed standard costs. Components of standard costs. Standard material cost. Predetermined cost of materials used in production. Based on expected material prices and usage quantities. Standard labor cost. Predetermined cost of labor for producing goods. Considers wage rates and expected efficiency levels. Standard overhead cost. Predetermined overhead costs including both fixed and variable elements. Allocated based on production volume or activity levels. These three components create comprehensive cost standards. Setting standard costs. Material standards development. Estimate material quantities needed per unit of output. Example, 5 kilograms of raw material per finished unit. Consider normal waste and efficiency levels. Labor standards development. Estimate labor hours required per unit of output. Example, 2 hours of direct labor per unit. Include time for normal breaks and setup. Overhead standards development. Estimate fixed and variable overheads per unit. Example, $10 variable overhead plus allocated fixed overhead per unit. Base allocation on normal production capacity. Standard cost calculation. Total standard cost formula. Standard cost per unit equals standard material cost plus standard labor cost plus standard overhead cost. Practical example. Standard material cost equals $20 per unit. Standard labor cost equals $15 per unit. Standard overhead cost equals $10 per unit. Total standard cost per unit equals $20 plus $15 plus $10 equals $45. This standard becomes the benchmark for performance measurement. Types of variances. Material variances. Material price variance, differences in material costs per unit. Material usage variance, differences in material quantities used. Labor variances. Labor rate variance, differences in wage rates paid. Labor efficiency variance, differences in time taken to complete work. Overhead variances. Variable overhead variance, differences in variable overhead costs. Fixed overhead variance, differences in fixed overhead costs. Material price variance. Purpose. Measures the difference between standard and actual material prices. Helps control purchasing costs and supplier performance. Calculation formula. Material price variance equals standard price actual price times actual quantity. Example calculation. Standard price equals $5 per kilogram. Actual price equals $6 per kilogram. Actual quantity equals 1,000 kilograms. Material price variance equals $5 to $6 times 1,000 equals minus $1,000, adverse. Negative result indicates costs exceeded standards. Material usage variance. Purpose. Measures efficiency in material usage compared to standards. Identifies waste, theft, or production inefficiencies. Calculation formula. Material usage variance equals standard quantity actual quantity times standard price. Example calculation. Standard quantity equals 5,000 kilograms. Actual quantity equals 5,200 kilograms. Standard price equals $5 per kilogram. Material usage variance equals 5,000 to 5,200 times $5 equals minus $1,000, adverse. Higher actual usage indicates inefficiency or waste. Labor rate variance. Purpose. Measures differences between standard and actual wage rates. Helps control labor costs and overtime expenses. Calculation formula. Labor rate variance equals standard rate actual rate times actual hours worked. Example calculation. Standard rate equals $15 per hour. Actual rate equals $16 per hour. Actual hours worked equals 500 hours. Labor rate variance equals $15 to $16 times 500 equals minus $500, adverse. Higher actual rates may indicate overtime or skill premiums. Labor efficiency variance. Purpose. Measures productivity by comparing actual time taken to standard time. Identifies training needs and process improvements. Calculation formula. Labor efficiency variance equals standard hours actual hours times standard rate. Example calculation. Standard hours equals 1,000 hours. Actual hours equals 1,100 hours. Standard rate equals $15 per hour. Labor efficiency variance equals 1,000 to 1,100 times $15 equals minus $1,500, adverse. More actual hours indicate slower than expected productivity. Overhead variances. Variable overhead spending variance. Measures differences in variable overhead rates. Formula: standard rate actual rate times actual hours. Fixed overhead variances. Volume variance measures capacity utilization differences. Expenditure variance measures spending differences from budget. Fixed overhead formulas. Volume variance equals standard hours actual hours times fixed overhead rate. Expenditure variance equals budgeted fixed overheads actual fixed overheads. Variable overhead example. Variable overhead spending variance calculation. Given information. Standard rate equals $3 per hour. Actual rate equals $4 per hour. Actual hours worked equals 500 hours. Calculation. Variable overhead spending variance equals $3 to $4 times 500 equals minus $500, adverse. Interpretation. Variable overhead costs exceeded standards by $500. May indicate higher utility costs or inefficient resource usage. Fixed overhead example. Fixed overhead variance calculations. Expenditure variance. Budgeted fixed overheads equals $10,000. Actual fixed overheads equals $9,500. Fixed overhead expenditure variance equals $10,000 to $9,500 equals $500, favorable. Volume variance. Standard hours equals 2,000. Actual hours equals 1,800. Fixed overhead rate equals $5 per hour. Fixed overhead volume variance equals 2,000 to 1,800 times $5 equals $1,000, favorable. Variance analysis process. Step 1. Calculate all variances. Compute material, labor, and overhead variances systematically. Identify favorable and adverse variances. Step 2. Investigate significant variances. Focus on variances that materially impact performance. Determine root causes of variances. Step 3. Take corrective action. Adjust processes to improve efficiency. Renegotiate supplier contracts or wage agreements. Provide additional training where needed. Step 4. Update standards. Revise standards when market conditions change permanently. Benefits of standard costing. Cost control advantages. Provides early warning of cost problems. Enables proactive cost management. Performance measurement. Creates objective benchmarks for evaluation. Measures operational efficiency accurately. Budgeting support. Provides reliable foundation for budget preparation. Improves budget accuracy and credibility. Decision-making enhancement. Supports pricing decisions with accurate cost information. Aids in product mix and capacity planning. Limitations of standard costing. Flexibility challenges. Rigid standards may not reflect dynamic business environments. Difficult to adjust quickly to market changes. Standard setting problems. Inaccurate standards lead to misleading variance analysis. Requires significant time and expertise to set properly. Behavioral issues. Excessive focus on variances may discourage innovation. Can create pressure that leads to counterproductive behavior. Implementation costs. Requires significant systems and administrative support. Thank you for watching. You now understand how to set cost standards, calculate variances, and use variance analysis for performance improvement. These skills are crucial for effective cost control and management. Next, we'll explore comprehensive performance measurement techniques beyond just cost control.